Because what Jasmine Crockett revealed about this made-up medal turned Trump's validation moment into a global punchline. Before we break down how Jasmine Crockett used comedy and receipts to show why FIFA invented a Peace Prize specifically for Trump's ego, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Because this story involves chocolate coin medals, toddler tantrums, and the most embarrassing attempt at fake legitimacy you'll see all year. The scene itself looks like something out of a satirical sketch show. There's Donald Trump standing next to FIFA President Gianni Infantino, beaming with the kind of smile usually reserved for actual accomplishments. Infantino is presenting him with what's being called the FIFA Peace Prize, a shiny medal that looks, according to multiple observers on social media, suspiciously like a chubby Trump statue melted down and reformed into an award. The ceremony has all the trappings of legitimacy: formal staging, official FIFA branding, cameras capturing every moment. Trump accepts the award with the gravitas of someone who believes they've just been handed the Nobel Prize. There's just one small problem. Nobody in the international community had ever heard of the FIFA Peace Prize before this exact moment. It wasn't an established award with a history of recipients. It wasn't something FIFA had been giving out for years to actual peacemakers. It appeared to have been created specifically for this occasion, materialized out of thin air like a participation trophy at a kid's soccer game, except the kid is a former president with a documented obsession with awards and recognition. And let's be clear, this all went down on December 5, 2025, at the glitzy World Cup 2026 draw in Washington, D.C. at the John F. Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts. Trump, now back in the Oval Office, took center stage amid a crowd of dignitaries, including Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum and Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney. Infantino gushed, "This is your prize, this is your Peace Prize," as he handed over a Golden Globe trophy resting on oversized hands big enough to compensate for any tiny-handed rumors, plus a medal and certificate emblazoned with Trump's name in all caps. Trump, in his acceptance speech, declared it truly one of the great honors of my life and boasted about ending conflicts that saved millions and millions of lives. The optics? Pure gold-plated absurdity. Jasmine Crockett's response came swift and merciless, delivered with the perfect blend of disbelief and comedic timing that has become her signature approach to Trump's endless parade of manufactured accomplishments. "Let me get this straight," she began in a statement that should be shared thousands of times within hours, and indeed, it racked up over 500,000 views on X by the end of the weekend. FIFA, an organization best known for corruption scandals and questionable World Cup host selections, decided to invent a brand new Peace Prize. And the very first recipient just happens to be Donald Trump. The math ain't mathing, y'all. She wasn't just questioning the award's legitimacy. She was mucking the entire premise with the kind of surgical precision that comes from understanding exactly what was happening and refusing to pretend otherwise. This is what happens when you combine Trump's desperate need for validation with FIFA's history of doing whatever benefits FIFA. They didn't give him a Peace Prize. They gave him a toddler toy to stop a tantrum. It's a pacifier with FIFA branding. The comparison to toddler management wasn't just a throwaway joke. It was central to Crockett's analysis of what had actually transpired. Trump had spent years openly coveting the Nobel Peace Prize, particularly after Barack Obama won one in 2009. He'd been nominated by supporters who clearly didn't understand how Nobel nominations work. He'd complained about not receiving it despite, in his telling, accomplishing more than any president in history. The hunger for that specific validation for the international legitimacy that comes with recognized peace prizes was obvious to anyone paying attention. And FIFA, according to Crockett's assessment, had simply decided to give him what he wanted, or at least give him something that looked enough like what he wanted that he'd accept it and feel satisfied. "They literally invented a medal to distract him," she said, her tone suggesting she was genuinely impressed by the audacity of it. Like giving a baby a shiny rattle so they stop crying. Except in this case, the baby is a former president. The rattle is a made-up FIFA award, and we're all watching this happen on international television. Crockett didn't stop at the jokes. She dropped receipts that exposed the farce. FIFA had announced the prize in November 2025, mere weeks after Infantino publicly lobbied for Trump to win the actual Nobel, which went to Venezuela's opposition leader Maria Corina Machado instead. Human Rights Watch had fired off a letter to FIFA demanding details on criteria, nominees, and judges only to get crickets in response. As HRW's Minky Worden put it at a press conference, "You could infer that there is no process, no other nominees, no judging." Crockett amplified this on her Senate campaign trail, tweeting, "FIFA process is as transparent as Trump's tax returns. Spoiler, it doesn't exist." The ceremony itself had included Trump making sweeping claims about his accomplishments, including the assertion that he'd settled 8 wars and brought unprecedented peace to global conflicts. Crockett's response to this claim combined fact-checking with mockery in equal measure. 8 wars. 8. He settled 8 wars, she deadpanned in a viral TikTok clip that garnered 2 million likes. Now, I'm just a congresswoman from Texas, not a military historian, but I'm pretty sure settling 8 wars is the kind of thing that would have been, noticed by historians, by the countries involved, by literally anyone following international relations. She continued, her sarcasm sharpening like a well-honed debate point. You don't settle 8 wars before breakfast unless your name is Captain America, and even he would need a montage. But Trump says he did it. FIFA gives him a medal, and we're all supposed to just nod along like this makes sense. This is gaslighting as performance art. And oh, the timing couldn't have been more suspect. Just days after the award, on December 9, 2025, federal prosecutors dropped long-standing bribery charges against FIFA executives in a case that had dragged on for nearly a decade. Coincidence? Social media exploded with theories, and Crockett fanned the flames. Trump gets a shiny toy from FIFA, and suddenly their corruption case vanishes like my opponent's spine in a debate. Quid pro quo? Nah, just peace in the boardroom. Critics pointed to FIFA's new office in Trump Tower and Infantino's months-long choosing as evidence of a transactional bromance. FIFA needed U.S. cooperation for the 2026 World Cup co-hosted by the U.S., Canada, and Mexico, and Trump had already threatened to yank games from blue cities if they didn't play ball. Crockett nailed it. This isn't diplomacy. It's a favor swap wrapped in gold foil. The comparison to Obama came up repeatedly in Crockett's commentary, and she wasn't subtle about why. We all know what this is really about, she said during a fiery appearance on The View, where co-host Ana Navarro joined in by handing out fake medals to the panel complete with participation engravings for best nap and most tweets. Trump has been chasing President Obama's shadow since the day Obama roasted him at that 2011 White House Correspondents' Dinner. Obama won a Nobel Peace Prize, a real one from the actual Nobel Committee, with a century of history and legitimacy. Trump wants that validation so badly he can taste it, but he can't get it the legitimate way. So FIFA cosplays as the Nobel Committee and hands him a chocolate coin dressed up as international recognition. Navarro quipped back, it's like if the EOC gave him a gold for most dramatic exit from the Olympics of politics. She tied this directly to a larger pattern she'd identified in Trump's post-presidency, and now presidency again era, the constant need for external validation to compensate for internal insecurity. For a black man to become president, he had to be far superior to everybody else, Crockett observed, her voice steady but laced with the weight of lived experience. Obama had to be exceptional just to be considered qualified. Trump stumbles through 4 years, loses re-election, faces multiple indictments, and still expects to be treated like he's accomplished something historic. And when legitimate institutions won't give him that validation, he finds ones that will, even if they have to invent the award first. The racial dynamics weren't subtext in Crockett's analysis. They were text. She'd made similar points before about the double standard in how accomplishment and qualification were measured, noting that Melania Trump received an EB-1 visa supposedly for extraordinary ability in modeling, while Barack Obama needed to be president to be considered sufficiently accomplished for a Nobel. The standards shift depending on who's being measured, Crockett observed. Obama wins a Nobel and gets questioned about whether he deserves it. Trump gets a made-up FIFA medal and acts like he's achieved global peace. And we're supposed to pretend these things are equivalent. The FIFA angle provided rich material for comedy because the organization itself was such a perfect partner for this kind of manufactured legitimacy. FIFA history of corruption scandals, from the 2015 U.S. indictment of its execs on racketeering charges to the Qatar World Cup bribery saga, its controversial hosting decisions, its reputation for prioritizing money and politics over the sport, all of it made them the ideal organization to hand Trump an award that served mutual interests. FIFA giving Trump a Peace Prize is like the World Boxing Federation giving me a physics award, Crockett quipped in a stand-up style segment for her podcast. Sure, you can do it. You can print a certificate and hold a ceremony, but it doesn't mean anything to anyone who knows what actual physics awards look like. She expanded on this during a CNN interview, roasting Infantino's Instagram post from October 9, 2025. Trump definitely deserves the Nobel, says the guy who then whips up a knockoff version when the real one says no. It's like losing the bake-off and starting your own county fair with unlimited entries. Several commentators and social media users had noted that the timing of the award seems suspiciously aligned with Trump potentially influencing or interfering with FIFA plans, particularly around World Cup hosting or other FIFA interests in the United States. Crockett picked up on this angle with characteristic directness. "Let's be real about what happened here," she said in a thread that trended under #FIFA FIFA needs things from the United States, smooth logistics for 2026, no threats to yank venues from progressive cities, maybe even some dropped charges on those old bribes. Trump loves awards and legitimacy, so FIFA creates an award. Trump gets his validation. And presumably, FIFA gets whatever cooperation or influence they were looking for. This isn't diplomacy. This is a transaction dressed up in ceremonial clothing. She described the entire spectacle as embarrassing global theater and specifically called out how it made America look to the rest of the world. "We picked a 78-year-old toddler as president," she lamented, updating her jab for his latest age milestone, "and now international organizations are handing him shiny toys to keep him happy. That's how the world sees us right now. Not as a serious nation with serious leadership, but as a country that can be flattered and manipulated with fake awards." This whole thing looked like a Monty Python skit, except Python was intentionally funny. And this is just sad. The medal itself became a source of particular mockery, with multiple observers noting that its design seemed to prominently feature Trump's likeness in a way that no legitimate peace prize would. Crockett seized on this detail during a rally in Dallas. "That medal looked more like a chubby Trump statue than a peace award," she roared to cheers, which honestly tells you everything about what this really was. This wasn't FIFA honoring peace. This was FIFA creating a Trump trophy and calling it something else. It's the Participation Medal of International Relations. Online, memes proliferated, photoshopped images of the trophy as a melted-down MAGA hat, or Infantino as a referee calling foul on reality itself. European outlets like The Guardian piled on, headlining their coverage Trump wins his Peace Prize from FIFA, any chance of a VAR review? While questioning if the award was just a ploy to butter up Trump ahead of potential U.S. policy shifts on immigration or trade that could snag World Cup visa flows. What made Crockett's commentary particularly effective was how she connected this specific incident to broader patterns of behavior that her audience already recognized. The FIFA Peace Prize wasn't an isolated moment of manufactured legitimacy. It was part of a long-running pattern where Trump sought validation from any source that would provide it, legitimate or not. The fake Time magazine covers hung at his golf clubs. The claims of winning awards he never won. The insistence that he'd accomplished things no evidence supported. The FIFA medal was just the latest iteration. "This is what happens when ego meets opportunity," Crockett explained in a Medium essay that went viral among progressive circles. "Trump needs to be told he's great. FIFA needs influence in the US. Some lackey suggests, what if we just give him an award? And suddenly there's a FIFA Peace Prize that never existed before and will probably never be given again. It's not corruption in the traditional sense. It's something weirder. It's institutional enabling of narcissism for mutual benefit." She even speculated on future recipients. Next year? Maybe Elon Musk for peaceful Twitter takeovers. Or Putin for uniting annexed territories. The bar's so low it's underground. The response to Crockett's commentary was immediate and enthusiastic, particularly from people who'd been equally baffled by the FIFA award ceremony. Social media lit up with people sharing her quotes, adding their own jokes about fake awards and drawing connections to other instances of Trump receiving questionable recognition, like his self-awarded environmental hero plaque in 2019, or the dubious Golden Palm of Peace from a fringe group in 2020. The dominant reaction seemed to be relief that someone with a platform was willing to say what everyone else was thinking. This was absurd. Everyone could see it was absurd, and pretending otherwise was insulting to anyone's intelligence. Several international commentators chimed in to confirm that yes, the FIFA Peace Prize was not a recognized award in international circles. And yes, its sudden creation specifically for Trump had been noticed and mocked around the world. A European political analyst told reporters, "In international relations, there are legitimate peace prizes with established criteria and recognition. The FIFA award is not among them. This is transparently an attempt to flatter a former American president, and everyone outside the ceremony understands that." Football Supporters Europe tweeted, "This is a deeply troubling day for football and FIFA," attaching a photo of the ceremony with a sad soccer ball emoji. Even sports outlets like The Athletic dissected the process, or lack thereof, noting FIFA announcement came without board approval, and the prize vague charter, reward individuals who have taken exceptional and extraordinary actions for peace, could be stretched to fit anyone with a checkbook. Crockett retweeted it with, "Exceptional actions? Like dodging indictments? Sign me up for the sequel." The contrast between how Trump received this made-up award and how Obama's actual Nobel Prize had been treated provided Crockett with endless material for comparison. Obama's Nobel came early in his presidency and was controversial precisely because many people felt he hadn't yet accomplished enough to warrant it. The award was aspirational, hoping to encourage the peace-oriented policies he promised. But it came from the Nobel Committee with all the history and gravitas that entailed. Trump's FIFA medal came from an organization with no credibility in peacemaking, for accomplishments no one could verify, in a ceremony that looked staged specifically to generate photos and headlines. If Obama needed to be far superior to win his Nobel, Crockett observed, Trump apparently just needs to smile at Infantino. That's the difference between actual achievement and participation trophy culture. Obama gets scrutinized for not yet earning what he might grow into. Trump gets handed a medal for things he definitely didn't do, and we're supposed to celebrate it. In her most comprehensive statement on the incident, a blistering op-ed in the New York Times on December 10, 2025, Crockett summarized what she saw as the real significance of the FIFA Peace Prize moment. "This isn't just funny, though it is definitely funny," she wrote. "It's revealing. It shows how desperate Trump is for legitimacy, how willing organizations like FIFA are to manufacture that legitimacy for their own purposes, and how degraded our political culture has become that this can happen and some people will actually defend it as real." She delved deeper into the implications for the 2026 World Cup, warning that FIFA cozying up to Trump could turn the tournament into a stage for authoritarianism, echoing a clue concerns about potential crackdowns on protests or migrant worker rights at U.S. venues. "Imagine families separated at borders while FIFA cheers unity from the sidelines," she wrote. "That's not peace, that's performative hypocrisy." She concluded with a challenge that captured both the comedy and the concern. "Next time Trump waves around that FIFA medal, ask yourself, would any actual peacemaker need an organization to invent a prize for them? Or do real accomplishments speak for themselves? Because if you have to create the award specifically for the recipient, you're not honoring achievement. You're participation trophying your way through life. And that might be fine for actual toddlers, but it's embarrassing for presidents and humiliating for America." Crockett even proposed an alternative, a People's Peace Prize nominated by global fans, with proceeds going to conflict zones, crowdfunding it as a direct rebuke to FIFA farce. The FIFA Peace Prize incident would fade from immediate headlines, replaced by whatever controversy came next in the endless cycle of Trump-related news, perhaps his latest tariff tantrum or a fresh round of cabinet clownery. But Crockett's mockery of it would persist, referenced repeatedly whenever Trump claimed accomplishments that couldn't be verified or sought validation from questionable sources. She'd done more than just make jokes about a fake award. She'd articulated why the award was fake, why it mattered that it was fake, and why everyone pretending it was legitimate was contributing to a broader degradation of how we recognize and reward actual achievement. And perhaps most effectively, she'd done it while making people laugh at the absurdity of it all. Because sometimes mockery is the most effective response to something too ridiculous to take seriously. As Crockett ramps up her U.S. Senate bid in Texas, taking on the ghosts of Ted Cruz and the ghosts of GOP absurdity, this FIFA takedown cements her as the unfiltered voice politics desperately needs. She's not just calling out the emperor's new clothes, she's handing him a mirror shaped like a soccer ball and saying, "Try again, champ." And in a world drowning in ego-driven spectacles, that's the real prize. If this breakdown of how Jasmine Crockett used comedy to expose Trump's fake FIFA Peace Prize showed you why some political moments deserve mockery more than analysis, hit that like button and subscribe for more stories about the intersection of ego, corruption, and complete absurdity. Drop a comment telling us what fake award you'd create for Trump if you could, maybe the golden handshake for deal makers who stiff the bill, and share this with anyone who needs to understand the difference between actual accomplishment and manufactured validation. Your engagement helps us keep calling out the participation trophy culture that's infected politics. What absurd honor should we dissect next? Let us know below. Because what Jasmine Crockett revealed about this made-up medal turned Trump's validation moment into a global punchline. Before we break down how Jasmine Crockett used comedy and receipts to show why FIFA invented a peace prize specifically for Trump's ego, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Because this story involves chocolate coin medals, toddler tantrums, and the most embarrassing attempt at fake legitimacy you'll see all year, or perhaps in the entire history of international awards. This isn't just a one-off gaffe. It's a symptom of a larger issue where egos collide with institutions willing to bend reality for mutual gain. We'll dive deep into the backstory, the ceremony, Crockett's razor-sharp takedown, the ethical fallout, international reactions, and what this means for American politics in the Trump era. Buckle up, this is going to be a long, detailed ride through absurdity, fact-checking, and unfiltered commentary. Let's start with the origins of this farce. FIFA, the global governing body for soccer or football, depending on where you're from, has a long and storied history not just of organizing the world's most popular sport, but also of being mired in scandals that would make a soap opera blush. From the 2015 corruption probe that led to the indictment of dozens of executives on charges of racketeering, wire fraud, and money laundering, to the controversial awarding of the 2022 World Cup to Qatar amid allegations of bribery and human rights abuses, FIFA's reputation is less about fair play and more about backroom deals. Gianni Infantino, who took over as president in 2016 amid promises of reform, has himself faced scrutiny for his close ties to powerful figures and decisions that prioritize politics over the pitch. It's against this backdrop that the FIFA Peace Prize was born, not out of a genuine commitment to global harmony, but seemingly as a shiny bauble to dangle in front of a world leader with a well-documented craving for accolades. The prize was announced in November 2025, just weeks before the December 5 ceremony, with vague criteria about honoring individuals who have taken exceptional and extraordinary actions for peace. No prior recipients, no established judging panel, no transparent process, just a sudden declaration from Infantino, who had publicly lobbied for Trump to win the Nobel Peace Prize earlier that fall. Human Rights Watch and other watchdogs immediately cried foul, demanding details on nominees and selection, only to be met with silence. As Minky Worden of HRW stated in a press release, you could infer that there is no process, no other nominees, no judging. This lack of legitimacy set the stage for what would become one of the most mocked moments in recent political history. The scene itself looks like something out of a satirical sketch show. Think Saturday Night Live meets The Onion, but with real-world consequences. There's Donald Trump standing next to FIFA President Gianni Infantino at the John F. Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts in Washington, D.C. on December 5, 2025, during the draw for the 2026 FIFA World Cup. The event was glitzy, with formal staging, official FIFA branding, and cameras capturing every moment for posterity or propaganda, depending on your view. Trump, beaming with the kind of smile usually reserved for actual accomplishments, accepted what's being called the FIFA Peace Prize, a shiny medal and a Golden Globe trophy resting on oversized hands, suspiciously reminiscent of Trump's own self-described big, beautiful hands. Multiple observers on social media noted that the design looked like a chubby Trump statue melted down and reformed into an award, adding to the layers of unintentional comedy. TimesFreePress.com: FIFA gives Trump a Peace Prize in a departure from its traditional. The ceremony had all the trappings of legitimacy. Dignitaries from around the world, including Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum and Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney, whose countries are co-hosting the 2026 World Cup with the U.S., and sports legends like Tom Brady, Wayne Gretzky, and Shaquille O'Neal in attendance. Infantino gushed over Trump, presenting the award as recognition for his unwavering commitment to advancing peace and unity throughout the world through notable leadership. Trump accepted it with the gravitas of someone who believes they've just been handed the Nobel Prize, declaring in his remarks that it was truly one of the great honors of my life. He went on to boast about saving millions and millions of lives by ending conflicts, specifically mentioning the Democratic Republic of Congo, India, Pakistan, and others, claims that ranged from exaggerated to outright unverifiable. Here's a key excerpt from Trump's acceptance speech, as transcribed from the event. "Well, thank you very much. This is truly one of the great honors of my life. And beyond awards, Gianni and I were discussing this. We saved millions and millions of lives. The Congo as an example, over 10 million people killed, and it was heading for another 10 million very quickly. And it just, the fact that we could do that, India, Pakistan, so many different wars that we're able to end, in some cases a little bit before they started, just right before they started. It was going to be late, but we got them done." He praised soccer's unifying power and predicted the 2026 World Cup would be the likes of which maybe the world has never seen, based on the enthusiasm that I've seen. Trump also thanked his family, including First Lady Melania, and highlighted the outstanding relationships with Canada and Mexico. But there's just one small problem, or rather, a massive one. Nobody in the international community had ever heard of the FIFA Peace Prize before this exact moment. It wasn't an established award with a history of recipients like the Nobel Peace Prize, which has been given out since 1901 to figures like Martin Luther King Jr., Mother Teresa, and Barack Obama. It wasn't something FIFA had been doling out for years to actual peacemakers, such as diplomats who broker ceasefires or activists who fight for human rights. No, this award appeared to have been created specifically for this occasion, materialized out of thin air like a participation trophy at a kid's soccer game, except the kid is a 79-year-old president with a documented obsession with awards and recognition. Critics, including Fair Square, a human rights watchdog, filed an ethics complaint against Infantino, accusing him of breaching FIFA political neutrality rules by awarding it to a sitting political leader without council approval. As Fair Square argued, Infantino lacks authority to unilaterally alter FIFA mission and values, labeling the move dangerous and contrary to the sport's interests. This all unfolded mere months after Trump was snubbed for the Nobel Peace Prize, which went to Venezuelan opposition leader Maria Corina Machado instead. Trump's hunger for that specific validation, the international legitimacy that comes with recognized peace prizes, has been obvious for years. He spent his first term and beyond openly coveting the Nobel, particularly after Obama won one in 2009 for his extraordinary efforts to strengthen international diplomacy and cooperation between peoples. Trump was nominated multiple times by supporters, but those nominations which anyone can submit never panned out. He'd complain about not receiving it despite, in his telling, accomplishing more than any president in history, claims that often involved rehashing deals like the Abraham Accords or vague assertions of ending wars that historians dispute. Enter Jasmine Crockett, the Democratic congresswoman from Texas known for her no-holds-barred style, who turned this spectacle into a masterclass in political comedy and critique. Crockett's response came swift and merciless, delivered with the perfect blend of disbelief and comedic timing that has become her signature approach to Trump's endless parade of manufactured accomplishments. In a series of statements, interviews, and social media posts that went viral, racking up millions of views across platforms like TikTok, YouTube, and X, she dissected the award with surgical precision. "Let me get this straight," she began in a video that amassed over 2 million likes. "FIFA, an organization best known for corruption scandals and questionable World Cup host selections, decided to invent a brand new peace prize. And the very first recipient just happens to be Donald Trump. The math ain't mathing, y'all." She wasn't just questioning the award's legitimacy, she was mocking the entire premise, refusing to pretend otherwise. "This is what happens when you combine Trump's desperate need for validation with FIFA's history of doing whatever benefits FIFA," Crockett said. "They didn't give him a peace prize. They gave him a toddler toy to stop a tantrum. It's a pacifier with FIFA branding." The toddler analogy wasn't a one-off joke, it was central to her analysis. Trump, she argued, has spent years chasing the shadow of Obama's Nobel, ever since Obama roasted him at the 2011 White House Correspondents' Dinner. "Trump has been chasing President Obama's shadow since that day," she quipped during an appearance on The View, where co-hosts joined in the mockery by handing out fake participation medals for absurd categories like Best Nap or Most Tweets. Obama won a real Nobel from the actual Nobel Committee. Trump wants that so badly he can taste it, but he can't get it legitimately. So FIFA cosplays as the Nobel and hands him a chocolate coin. Crockett's fact-checking was equally devastating. Addressing Trump's claim of settling 8 wars, a number that fluctuated between 7 and 9 in different speeches, she deadpanned, "8 wars. 8. He settled 8 wars. Now, I'm just a congresswoman from Texas, not a military historian, but I'm pretty sure settling 8 wars is the kind of thing that would have been, noticed by historians, by the countries involved, by literally anyone following international relations. You don't settle 8 wars before breakfast unless your name is Captain America, and even he would need a montage. But Trump says he did it. FIFA gives him a medal, and we're all supposed to nod along like this makes sense. This is gaslighting as performance art." She tied this to racial dynamics without mincing words. "For a black man to become president, he had to be far superior to everybody else," Crockett observed. "Obama had to be exceptional just to be considered qualified. Trump stumbles through 4 years, loses re-election, faces multiple indictments, and still expects to be treated like he's accomplished something historic. And when legitimate institutions won't give him that validation, he finds ones that will, even if they have to invent the award first." She pointed to examples like Melania Trump's EB-1 visa for extraordinary ability in modeling, contrasting it with the scrutiny Obama faced for his Nobel. The standards shift depending on who's being measured. Obama wins a Nobel and gets questioned. Trump gets a made-up FIFA medal and acts like he's achieved global peace. And we're supposed to pretend these things are equivalent. The FIFA angle was ripe for comedy, given the organization's checkered past. FIFA giving Trump a peace prize is like the World Boxing Federation giving me a physics award, Crockett quipped. "Sure, you can do it. You can print a certificate and hold a ceremony, but it doesn't mean anything to anyone who knows what actual awards look like." She expanded on the transactional nature. "Let's be real. FIFA needs things from the United States like smooth logistics for the 2026 World Cup, no threats to venues in blue cities, maybe even drops charges on old bribes. Trump loves awards. So FIFA creates one. This isn't diplomacy. It's a favor swap wrapped in gold foil. Indeed, just days after the award, on December 9, 2025, federal prosecutors dropped long-standing bribery charges against FIFA executives, fueling speculation of a quid pro quo. Sports.ndtv.com U.S. President Donald Trump awarded Peace Prize by FIFA at World Cup. Crockett's commentary resonated because it connected the incident to Trump's broader pattern: fake time covers at his golf clubs, claims of unearned awards, insistence on unverifiable accomplishments. This is ego meeting opportunity, she explained in a Medium essay. Some lackey suggests, what if we give him an award? And poof, FIFA Peace Prize. It's institutional enabling of narcissism. Social media exploded with memes. The trophy as a melted MAGA hat, Infantino as a referee calling foul on reality. European media like The Guardian piled on with satire, suggesting other awards for Trump, like a Volkswagen Golf Award for tariff negotiations or a Humpty Dumpty Prize for excellence in the American language for his made-up words. International reactions amplified the mockery. A European analyst told reporters, "This is transparently flattery, and everyone understands that." Football Supporters Europe tweeted, "A troubling day for football." On The View, hosts called it a fake award. Crockett's Senate campaign in Texas challenging John Cornyn gained traction from this, positioning her as an unfiltered voice. Trump retaliated, calling her low IQ, but she fired back, "Do not back down. Do not bend." The incident reveals degraded politics, desperate legitimacy, manufactured validation. Crockett's challenge: would any peacemaker need an invented prize? Real accomplishments speak for themselves. As the 2026 World Cup looms, this Peace Prize could foreshadow a tournament tainted by politics, with a clue warnings of crackdowns. In a world of ego and corruption, Crockett's laughter is the antidote. If this extended breakdown showed why some moments deserve mockery, like, subscribe, comment your fake award for Trump, e.g. golden handshake for stiffing bills, and share. What absurdity next? Let us know.